Now what the plan is here is to convert this into a fish pond. Now the fish that we could look at are definitely goldfish, but then there's also various temperate water fish we could consider, but we would not recommend koi because it's just realistically too small for the koi. Now, one thing that we're going to have to be aware of with this system is that the actual sump is quite small, so we're going to get a large amount of evaporation, and people can be shocked by the amount of evaporation they get to the point where they are often concerned that it's leaking. So because the sump level here is quite low, what we'd want to do is probably twice a week, just have a quick check on it and just fill it up a little bit as need be. Just try and keep that as high as we can, because if that runs too low, it'll suck dry, and then the whole system's going to grind to a halt. So what's going to happen here is the water's going to go in through here, and then it's going to go into this pump, and then this pump is going to feed into this filter clear here. Now the filter clear here has got a backwash on it, so we can switch it to backwash. We can then pump on this handle and make sure the backwash is open. That will backwash the filter. We then can go over here where we can see the water coming out and make sure it's running out clean. Then we switch it back to operation again, and then we shut that, and then Bob's your uncle. That'll run again. That's all you need to do that. And then as far as the pond's concerned, there's three things that we want to put in the water before we add the fish. Thing number one is water Ager, because Sydney tap water can have chlorine in it, and if you flush your system with chlorine and you get a bad day when there's lots of chlorine in the water, you can kill the good bacteria in your filter, therefore kill your fish. So make sure you add water Ager whenever you're doing a water change. So if you're just doing a little top up and you don't add water Ager, no big drama, because diffusion would be significant. Then the other two levels that we want to really keep an eye on is KH and pH. Now KH in this pond may not be a problem, just due to what the pond's actually made out of. So if about once a quarter, grab your phone, make a little video of the situation, let us see the fish, let's see how it's all running, bring it down to Majestic Aquariums and get us to test the water, and we'll check that everything's okay. If the KH was too low, we can add some KH powder. The other thing you could add is a little bit of coral bone, because that will tend to keep the KH up. The KH will also stabilize your pH. Then the other thing that we'd be concerned about is what's called GH salts. GH salts just help the fish's immune system, helps body slime and stuff like that. So that's another thing that we'd actually check. Then the next thing to be concerned about is feeding the fish. Half of fish keeping is about water quality. So you bring a sample of water down to Majestic, we can check on the water, make sure we're happy with the water quality. The other half of fish keeping is nutrition. So the food that you choose for your fish is very much a key factor in how healthy your fish will be and how resilient your fish are if anything goes wrong. So sticking with good quality foods like New Life Spectrum and Danichi is basically half the battle. Then as far as feeding the fish is concerned, we want to feed the fish what they eat in 30 seconds, so there's not one speck of food left. And we would normally do that in summer about 3 times a week, and in winter we'd barely do it at all. So then once you start feeding the fish are going to start producing ammonia. The good bacteria that grows in the filter is going to break the ammonia into nitrite, and then the good bacteria that grows in the filter will break the nitrite into nitrate. If the nitrate builds up, then we want to increase the regularity of our water changes. And for a pond like this, if we just got a bit of a siphoned it onto the grass, siphoned a bit of the crap out of the bottom of the pond, if we did that once a quarter, that'd normally be fine. If your nitrate levels are starting to increase, then we would increase the frequency of the water changes. If we were getting ammonia or nitrite, then that would mean that the filtration is insufficient, which we could easily address. May mean you're overfeeding or overstocking the pond. But ultimately, if you have any concerns with any of your aquatic life, just grab a little sample of water from the pond, bring a little video down to see us, and we can assess it and advise you from there.